Hi YouTubers, I want to talk to you a little bit today about a different topic than normal. I'm not going to talk about concealed carry as in where to carry, how to carry, when to carry, and all that good stuff. I'm going to talk to you about something that isn't often talked about or thought of even. It is the aftermath. What happens after you would have to pull that gun? And what a lot of people don't even think about it, it's like, everybody's got that John Wayne cowboy thing going on. Well, I'll just pull my gun and I'll just shoot him. Yeah, and there's a lot of people, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that people aren't responsible because, believe me, a large, I'd say probably 99% of the population that carries guns and takes the time to get concealed carry licenses, even though it is their Second Amendment right, without it, if they get their licenses, then they are responsible adults normally. However, you have situations that, responsible or not, something can happen. You're in a situation, you have to draw your gun, and you not only have to draw it, but you have to shoot. So now what happens after the fact? You say, well, I was within my rights, so not a big deal, right? I mean, nothing's going to happen to me if I was within my rights to use my gun by the law. That's not necessarily true, because what happens is after you have to use your gun in self-defense, it's just like with any other situation. The police come, the police have to investigate, they have to determine if they want to charge you or they don't want to charge you. Sometimes, it's the grand jury makes the decision, what are they going to do here? So it's not necessarily just that cut and clean. Whether you're in your rights or not, you could still end up going through a big mess. And it's a mess that you really don't want to be by yourself in. Okay? You want to make sure that you're prepared, because you're carrying a gun because you want to be prepared for the what if. Well, if the what if happens, then what if? Okay? So it's kind of like a big round circle that comes right back to the same question. Well, the what if is you have to think in advance. It's just like preparing for anything else. It's just like saying, you know what? When I drive my car, I don't get in an accident every day, but I have insurance every day. And it is the same way with concealed carry. There are insurances out there, so to speak. They're plans, we'll say. But they're like insurances out there that will, firearms programs, that will protect you in the case that you would ever have to use your gun. And I tell you what, it doesn't always have to be like a really major deal that you had to use your gun. It could be as simple as, and I know this sounds silly, but there was a circumstance where a man shot a skunk. It was coming after his dog. It must have been rabid because it was during the day, so he was a concealed carrier. He shot the dog, and of course the police were called by neighbors because it wasn't a neighborhood. And the first policeman that arrived said, no problem, hey, you're within your rights. You shot a rabid, skunk. You were protecting your animal. No big deal. Second police officer came and said, well, guess what? You just discharged a firearm within city limits, and that's against the law, so I'm going to have to write you a citation. Well, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's not like he got a felony or anything, but he was writing him a ticket for protecting himself and his dog. And he knew he was within his rights, and it was kind of a contradicting law because the law says that you can protect yourself. And then they have no firearms discharge in city limits. So, I mean, what if it would have been a man attacking him? Would it have been the same? So he just kind of said, you know what, I'm not going to pay this. I could. It was only like $150, I think they said. But he said, I'm not going to. I am going to call Texas Law Shield, because he happened to have Texas Law Shield, which is a firearms program that gives you legal protection in the case that you have to use your gun. Okay? And that's who he called. And they said, you know what, normally we don't take on little stuff like this because it's a ticket. He said, but they agreed. It was a matter of you were within your rights. They don't have the right to ticket you for protecting yourself. So, that's just a little example. But, say it got into something huge. You're going to be talking about, if you go to get a lawyer at the last minute, it's going to be a matter of plunking down $5,000 for retainer, if not more. I mean, I don't know, depending on where you're at, what it would cost. But I know around here, when I talked to a few lawyers, I said, if I needed a retainer, just what if, they said, $5,000 is the minimum that they would look at, because you're talking about a criminal charge. Okay, so let's say criminally you don't get charged. They decide, the grand jury decides not to indict, so they don't go there, okay? So then what? Well, it depends. Depends on what happened, how it happened. Does that person that you had to shoot have relatives? It's all things to consider, because guess what? You could be sued civilly. If the person lives, you can be sued civilly. If the person dies, you can be sued civilly if he has family. So, even a girlfriend or, children. So, it's never just that cut and dry. So, think about that. Think about it. Look into it. There's different programs all over the countries. I know there's one that's, I haven't looked into it a whole lot, I'll tell you. It's by the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. I think it's called Defense Shield. So that's one. And then, like I said, here in Texas, we have Texas Law Shield. And there's probably others too. But Texas Law Shield, basically for the price of 2 McDonald's meals a month, it's like $10 and some change a month, $10.51 or something. You get coverage. And they cover everything, all your fees. The only thing that would come out of your pocket would be expert witness. That would be it. Everything else they cover. And they are actual lawyers. And they pick up the phone 24 hours a day when you call. So, I'm not selling Texas Law Shield. I'm just saying you need to look for a program like that. They will be there. They flat out tell you, don't speak until you have your lawyer there. I'm not saying that, that the police would misinterpret what you say, but when you are nervous and you're afraid, get yourself riled up and then try to turn around and tell someone exactly what happened, word for word, and see if there isn't a different story from every person that was there. Okay? Like I said, it's not an exciting topic, but it's a topic that really should be looked at and should be addressed by all concealed carry owners, but not just concealed carry owners, gun owners, because there's policies available for concealed carry gun owners and for non-concealed carry gun owners, okay? So just gun owners that keep it in their home, because it's still the same circumstance. You're less likely to run into the same scenarios as someone that's carrying, because obviously you have your protection with you all the time. So anyway, give that some thought, and comment back to me on what you think about the fact that you can be sued civilly even though you're found innocent criminally. Okay? Thanks for your time, YouTubers.